Yo, what's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Tireo, and I'm back, y'all, with another video and also another eye-opening message. And in this message right here, I got to talk about this because this is something very, very serious, okay? First thing first is this. In this message, I am going to be talking about ways to know. This is a secret. This is a secret of knowing when God is talking to you. And I'm going to share this with y'all, okay? This is a secret of knowing when God is talking to you. And this is a secret of also knowing when God is choosing you and picking you. And this is also another secret of knowing when you are stepping into God's kingdom. I'm going to share this secret with y'all, okay? I'm going to repeat that. First thing first is this. In this message, I am going to be talking about how when you know that God is talking to you, and also when you know that God is choosing you and bringing you into his kingdom for his plan for your life, and also when you know that God is taking you to another level of your life. Now, y'all, this is a very simple secret. This is very, very simple, but a lot of people, y'all, you will be shocked at the people who don't even get this. First thing first, I got to tell y'all is this. If you are not spiritual, this message is not for you. If you think everything is a game, this message is not for you. If you want to continue to follow all of the lies of church, religion, Christianity, and all that garbage, this message is not for you. Okay, now, back to reality. First, I gotta say this right quick. There is a hypocritical spirit that a lot of people carry. I got to say that right quick. There is a hypocritical spirit and demon that a lot of people carry because a lot of people are hypocrites. A lot of people pretend like they're holy. A lot of people pretend like they got it all together. A lot of people quick to run their mouth, but they hide who they really are. A lot of people hide their sins. They hide their past issues. They hide they curse secret emotions. They hide. All they do is hide. Well, let me tell you about those people. They are carrying a hypocritical spirit. Now watch this. One of the ways to know that God is talking to you. Let me tell you the secret. This is one of the ways to know that God is talking to you. Because let me tell you something about God. God will always tell you about yourself first. I don't think you heard me. This is a secret I'm sharing with y'all, and write this down. God will always tell you about yourself first. God will always get on your ass about yourself first. That's one way to know. That's a secret to know when God is calling you into his kingdom and when he's talking to you. God will always tell you about yourself first. That's right. I gotta say this. If you people are hearing a bunch of voices and you're not being told about yourself, that's not God. That's the devil. Because let me tell you something about Satan. Satan will never tell you about yourself. You want to know why? Here's the secret. Satan will never tell you about yourself because Satan wants you to stay cursed. He wants you to stay blind. He wants you to stay a hypocrite. He wants you to stay deceived. So Satan will never tell you that you're ignorant. Satan will never tell you that you're a hypocrite. Satan will never tell you that you're a gossiper. Satan will never tell you about yourself because he wants you to die in sin. I don't think y'all hearing me, man. Preachers ain't gonna tell you this. Satan will never tell you about yourself because he wants you to die in sin. The secret to knowing when God is talking to you, God will always tell you about yourself. That's right. God will tell you you have a stinky ass attitude. God will tell you that you ain't nothing but an internet gossiper. God will tell you that you are a jealous hater. God will tell you all kind of stuff about yourself. Why? The reason why God is telling you about yourself, because here it is. How can you reach somebody if you haven't been honest with yourself? Man. How can you reach somebody if you haven't been honest with who you are? See, I gotta say this. The reason why a lot of you all will never be able to reach people and have a powerful effect on their life, because you don't want to admit who you are. See, you don't want to admit that you're a freak, lady. You don't want to admit that you married the wrong man. You don't want to admit that you married the wrong woman. You don't want to admit that you are a jealous hater, a backbiter, a gossiper. You don't want to admit that you cursed by religion. You don't want to admit that you ain't nothing but a debater. See, you don't want to admit it. And by you not admitting who you are, you can't reach other people. It don't matter. You gotta understand something, y'all. I'ma say it, y'all. I gotta say it, and this is the truth. People are, y'all, I'm being honest. We are living in 2015. Okay? We are in a generation of 2015. Everybody don't want to read the Bible. The Bible ain't gonna reach everybody. I gotta be honest with y'all, man. I'm talking to some y'all. I'm being real with y'all. This is 2015. Everybody don't want to talk about the Bible. I'm being honest, y'all. The Bible is not going to reach everybody. You cannot just give people a bunch of scriptures thinking that's going to save them. I'm keeping it all the way 100% real with you. Everybody is not going to be reached by you giving them scriptures all the time. Some people, let me tell y'all the secrets to this stuff. Some people will be reached if you just be honest with them about who you are. Sometimes, y'all, you can reach I gotta say it. Sometimes you can reach a person better by just telling them who you are and being real with them than giving them a bunch of Bible verses. I'm being honest, y'all. Bible verses is not gonna save the world. You want to know why it ain't going to save the world? Because here it is. If Bible verses was going to save the world, don't you think by now it would have saved the world already, you fool? Look at the world with an open eye. The world is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And last time I checked, scriptures can't even help these crazy people down here. You want to know why? Because the Bible is not going to save everybody. Certain people, you just got to be real with them and tell them who you are. And tell them who you are. And tell them who you are. Sometimes you telling a person about your life can reach them quicker than you giving them a scripture all the time. Because everybody don't want to read the scriptures, man. Y'all know it's the truth. Y'all, a lot of y'all, I'm being honest. I reach millions of people online. Some people love it when I talk about the Bible. Some people don't love it when I talk about the Bible. Some people love it when I talk about my life. Some people don't love it when I talk about my life. Some people love different things. You got to understand. And this is why I do different types of videos. Because I understand Bible scriptures is not going to reach everybody. Okay, so that's a waste of time. This is why I do a lot of videos of me talking about my life. Because different things reach different people. Why? Because everybody is not the same. Okay? And you got to stop comparing people to your ass. Because everybody ain't you. Just because you want to talk about the Bible all day, that don't mean somebody else want to talk about it all day. Somebody else might get reached differently if you just be honest with them on who you really are. And let me tell you something. One of the ways that you will know when God is talking to you, God will always tell you about yourself first. God will always tell you about yourself. And y'all, I gotta say it. If God ain't telling you about yourself, you ain't chosen. Oh man, I'ma say it because this is the truth. If God is not telling you about yourself, you ain't chosen. You ain't chosen. Because every time God gets ready to pick up a chosen person, he gonna always tell them about themselves. That's off top. Every time God gets ready to raise up a chosen person, he will always tell you about yourself. And then he will tell you to tell it to others. But see, this is the problem, y'all. A lot of people, they scared to admit who they really are. They petrified. So this is what they do. They just give you scriptures. But they scared to tell you who they really are. And I'm being honest, y'all. Tired of people giving me scriptures. I don't want your scriptures no more. Because I know the word. I don't want that. Who are you? Who are you? We know what the Bible is saying, but who are you? And one way to know when God is talking to you and calling you into his kingdom and raising you up, you got to understand something. And one way to know when God is talking to you and calling you into his kingdom He's going to tell you about yourself first. That's off top. God is going to tell you about yourself. I don't care who you are. God is going to tell you about yourself. Lady, if you're listening to this right now, God is going to tell you that your attitude stinks. God is going to tell you that you need to stop with your thinking problems. I'm just being honest with you. God is going to tell you about your attitude. He's going to tell you about your thinking problems. He's going to tell you about your cursed emotions. He's going to tell you about all that stuff. And then, God is going to want you to share it with the people. Let me tell you something. If you don't reveal to people who you really are, you don't have a purpose. I don't think y'all heard me, man. If you don't reveal to people who you really are, you don't have a purpose. You cannot just talk about the Bible to people without telling them who you are. I don't think you're hearing me. If you don't tell people who you really are, you don't have a purpose. Because here it is. How can you talk to somebody about God and the Bible, but then yet you're hiding who you really are? It don't make sense. It don't add up. Here it is. How can you tell somebody about God and the Bible without telling them who you really are? It don't add up. Here it is. The Apostle Paul. You want to know why? Let me tell you something about God and these followers of the Bible, which I love. Here it is. If y'all notice, every follower of God in the Bible, if you notice something about their stories, you know their past, you know their present, and you know their future. We already know Moses was put in the basket when he was a baby. We already know that God came to Moses at the burning bush. We know everything about Moses. You see what I'm saying? We know everything about Elijah. We know everything about Peter. Peter was a fisherman. He had an anger problem. He was cussing. You see how we know Peter past, present, and future? Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. You see how we know her story? We know her background. We know she was out there hoeing around for cash, sleeping with men for cash. You see how we know their lives? But let me tell y'all something about these followers of God today. You know nothing about them people. You know nothing about them followers of God today. And let me tell you something. I got to keep it real with y'all 100%. That's a dangerous thing to listen to somebody when you know nothing about their personal life. You are a damn fool. And y'all, I'm going to keep it 100% real with y'all. Stop listening to all these people online and Facebook talking about God. You know nothing about them. You don't know them. All you know is they giving you a bunch of scriptures about God. But do you know them personally? Do you really know who they are? Let me tell you something about God and how he operated. Every real follower of God in the Bible, we know their past, we know their present, and we know their future. But when you look at these people today, everybody is afraid to talk about who they really are. That's why they're giving y'all a bunch of Bible verses. Now watch this. I gotta say it. I'm gonna say it because it's the truth. Have y'all noticed something about everybody who be talking crazy about me? Have y'all noticed something about them? Let me open up your eyes. Have y'all noticed something about everybody who talk crazy about me? Have y'all noticed that they all are scared to admit who they really are? Have y'all noticed that about them people? Have y'all noticed that? All of the people who talk crazy about me, have y'all noticed that they are really afraid to tell y'all who they are? Have y'all noticed that about them? They all got that in common. Oh, Tireo this, Tireo that, Tireo this, Tireo that. It's mighty, here it is. It's mighty funny how they can just talk about me. But if you notice, they're not talking about who they are. My goodness. My goodness. They have no purpose. It's mighty funny how they can talk about me, but they can't talk about who they really are. Ain't that kind of hypocritical? It's hypocritical. It is. And guess what, y'all? They have no purpose. Because every time God gets ready to speak to you, he going to always tell you about yourself first. Y'all got to stop hiding it. Stop hiding who you really are. Cut it out. It's getting out. I'm being honest. If people don't start being really real with people today, y'all ain't going to reach nobody. I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm telling y'all what God is telling me. God is changing up everything. This is not about quoting scriptures anymore. This is not about who knows all of the Bible verses. This is not about that. That stuff is played out. It's dead. This is not about just quoting, let's turn to the book of Matthew today. That stuff is getting played out. It's time for people to open up who they really are, man. That's what it's time for. It's time for people to stop hiding who they really are and start opening up. Because if you don't open up to the people and tell them who you really are, trust me on this, man. Trust me on this. You're going to lose a lot of people. You ain't going to be able to reach nobody. And see, the reason why people love what I do so much, because I open up to them. I talk to them, man. I don't just give you Bible verses all damn day. I talk to people from my heart. I share my life story with these people, man. I let these people know what I go through with Jesus and what I deal with on a day-to-day basis in my walk with God. And that's one way to know when God is talking to you. He will always tell you about yourself first. So listen to this carefully, y'all. If God haven't told you that you are a mess, if God haven't told you about yourself, God not talking to you. He not. Because the number one thing, when God gets ready to raise you up and bring you into his kingdom, he gonna expose you first. He gonna tell you. He gonna say, look, lady, you need to get it together. You need to stop being a hater. You need to stop being a gossiper. You need to stop being a stalker. You need to stop all this mess you doing. You need to stop smoking cigarettes, drinking liquor. You need to stop having sex with all these men. You need to stop getting in these relationships with all these people. God gonna tell you about yourself first. But the problem is, y'all, people are so afraid to show who they really are. It's crazy. Anytime God is not telling you who you are, you're not chosen by him. You're not chosen. You ain't called by God. You ain't called by God. If God is not telling you who you are, you're not called by God. If God is not correcting you and telling you about yourself, you're not called by God. Because in order for God, here it is, in order for God to use you and use you to help other people, he have to tell you about yourself first. That's right. Y'all, let me tell you about me right quick. God been told me about myself when I first came into the kingdom. You want to know what God told me? I'm going to tell you what God told me. God been told me about myself when I first came in. This is what God told me. He said, Tireo, you are crazy. That's what he told me. He said, Tireo, you are crazy. He said, you bold, boy. He said, you bold. He said, you ain't nothing but a gangster. And I'm going to tell you what he told me. He said, you don't take no mess off nobody. Y'all, I'm sharing with y'all when God told me about myself. He said, Tireo, you something else. He said, you crazy. He said, you bold. He said, you don't take nobody mess. He said, you will go at anybody. And here it is. And guess what Jesus told me? He said, son, I love that. You want to know why? Because I'm going to use that for my kingdom. I don't think y'all hear me, man. I don't think y'all hear me. Jesus told me personally, he said, Tireo, I love that about you. I love how you bold and radical. You will go to war with anybody. And he said, guess what? I'm going to use that for my kingdom. You want to know why God is using that for his kingdom? Because we have too many soft niggas around here. That's why God is using it for his kingdom. Because we have too many soft niggas around here. And it's time for people of God to raise up and tell Satan's people down to the ground, man. And God told me that about myself. He said, Tireo, he said, Tireo, you crazy, you bold, you radical. And he said, you loyal. He said, so with that being said, I'm going to use all of this for my kingdom. Because it's too many soft-hearted people walking around today. And I need somebody bold who gonna stand up and kill Goliath. That's what God told me. And let me tell you, that's why he used David. Because David took Goliath ass out. He took him out. That's why God used Elijah. Because Elijah was calling down fire from heaven. That's why he used Moses. Because Moses went to Pharaoh and sent the plagues down on Pharaoh's ass. Y'all got to understand something, man. Every time God gets ready to raise a person up, he going to always tell you about yourself. That's right. I do some off the wall stuff, but guess what? God uses that for his kingdom. See what I'm saying? That's off top, man. God is not looking for perfect people. God ain't looking for perfect people because ain't nobody perfect. No, he looking for honest people, radical people, bold people who not afraid to open up and tell you who they really are and what they dealing with. That's the kind of folks God looking for. So with all that being said, y'all, this is your boy Tireo, and I am out. Peace.